Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. And today, I think will be the last video. I don't see me taking all my effort and making it into this. I've tried and I tried to say that this was just for me, you know, because it made me feel better, but honestly, it doesn't. I've had a lot going on lately, and this is just turning into another thing that I've been postponing. But, you know, here we go. So, a little update. What I was arrested for a long time ago, I remember telling you guys that. I had to plead guilty even though I didn't do anything. And that was just because the way the system is. Or at least the way my attorney said, if, say, I forgot to ring up one thing, then it would give them probable cause to just say everything else. And yes, it was because they're trying to say I stole from a grocery store, but I didn't. I'm not that desperate. I mean, I am, but I'm not stupid like that. But, so I had to do that. I've given up on my own therapy. My grandmother has 6 months to live. You know, her. She was diagnosed with lung cancer. One of her entire lungs is completely filled with tumors. They're unable to do surgery on it and everything, so that's over soon enough. But I feel bad for my aunt. She's taking care of her, even though my aunt isn't a fantastic person herself. She's blaming herself when in that whole situation it's my grandmother who really doesn't care to get better. I gave up on school and decided maybe to go back to trying to be a tattoo artist. I've learned it's just the schoolwork doesn't get you as far as I thought it would. With the job I was going for, medical billing and coding, it's not a one-time certificate that you pay like $1,100 for. It's a yearly renewal thing, and it seems like it's more of an expense than a good. So, those are my reasons for it. It's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm trying to think of all the other stuff. Yeah, that sums it up for now, I think. I mean, I am dealing with other stuff, like I'm trying to find jobs and other things and figure out my life plan. My grandpa recently got divorced and just moved in with us, so he's been trying to push me in the right direction, giving me, what is it called? Philosophical advice, if that's how you say it. You know. And this was something, I'm not going to say that he wanted to do, but he thought that might be a good idea for me to do. He had me write out what he calls essays, and he requested that I do 2 pages, but instead I did a poem, and it was growing through my past and others' expectations, because let's be honest, I harbor a lot of things that I just don't mention ever. You know, they're not things that I tell, but I always blame myself for them, and that's what he made me write. And then he thought it would be a good idea to maybe write my grandmother, a letter, because I don't want to go face to face with her. You know how most people, when their parents or their grandparents die, they go to see them and they say their goodbyes, but I don't want to do that. You know, and it's not because I care about seeing her one last time or all these other things, but I know if I went there just to say what I needed to say, I wouldn't be able to, because the way that she is. She's one of those people who are super defensive to the point where you can't even get a word or a mutter out of what you're trying to say and the point you're trying to make. She so deeply refuses facts that, she's blocked it all out, and in her mind she's a terrific person. She hasn't let anybody tell her how she makes them feel. And now she thinks she's just on top of the world. Well, obviously right now, because she's dying of stage 4 lung cancer, but she's still on that high horse, She always will be. But I turned my poem into the letter for her. I fixed it and tweaked it little by little to make it from general public to specific, because let's be honest, she's the cause of most of it for me. I figured since this is my last video that I would share it with you all. So, here we go. A letter to her. I know your time is limited, fatal, flawed, prohibited. Whether this is your end or your new beginning, this is my last letter, the last chain to sever, and I wanted to use them to thank you. In the past, people have relied on me to fix them, pick up the pieces and glue them back together, fix every issue if impossible, take the fall for reasons no one can remember. You can't put that much pressure on a kid and expect them to grow and be better when you're the only example they have, broken and untethered. I'm not a kid anymore, the unrealistic version of me being an all-in-one tool to fix every person as well as live a life of my own, full of success and happiness, a dream long gone, can't remember. I know now there is only so much I can do as a growing individual, let alone a small, insecure child, innocent to the world. I changed once because of you, growing from an angry, oblivious child who blamed everyone and everything, not once taking responsibility or blame, taking in every word and every wrong like a thin thread of gold, trying to weave a wealthy cage around my heart and home. But instead of gold, I was handed iron picks, unmendable, and instead of a cage of protection, they turned to chains of instability and pain, with the key shattered like porcelain rain, with ropes tightening, turning in different directions, pulling till ripped skin and diminished dreams are all the eye could see. By iron picks of hateful words and unachievable gains, I learned how to hate, but not to the ones who taught me to hate myself, and only I have you to blame. But I am no longer a child. I've learned that iron picks, the ball and chain, are nothing more than the wielder's gain, only there to entertain. Like a statistic tango, not for pleasure but to make you feel better, handing down your iron picks to me from every angle. And it's still just a game. A game where right here, right now, I refuse to participate because no medal or trophy will bring back my innocence, or will it weld the key because it was irreplaceable. It was a pure me. One day in September, when I blocked out and can't remember, I buried her. The broken pieces, the shattered key, the memory of whom I used to be. With a letter to my mother and an all-knowing tremor spreading like a virus till she was gone, a girl I can't remember. The day she died, instead of burying her with the pics, I decided to keep them, just to remember. Now knowing they don't define me, I refuse more, so that I don't bleed out empty. Ripping them out of my heart and off my skin, breaking the links, severing the chains, trying to let go of that girl and find the woman I was meant to be. Taking out every pick, using them to chisel out and define my new self, not with pain, but a brain and memories to make the path of change. This can only be over time, because with every pick I take out, my health declines, reaching certain limits and highs, but I'm trying. And I think that's enough after all this time. So thank you for breaking me. And goodbye. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. This is the last video I will be posting. I do have a couple books along the way, and if you guys didn't know, I do graphic design over on the Asphyxiating Art page. And who knows, maybe in a couple years when this blows up, if it ever blows up, I will make more. But until then, this is farewell for you guys as well. Thanks for watching. And if I don't see you tomorrow, see you tonight, good morning, good night, everything in between, because I can't remember my line. Goodbye.